Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Evangeline Downs here on Saturday. It is May the 30th, 2015. I'm going to look at the stakes races from Evangeline Downs, which are races 5, 6, 7, 8, which is the future Evangeline Turf Sprint, and race 9. Before we get on to that, please remember to follow me on Twitter at 316picks for more selections. So let's get on to today's first race. The fifth race, the first race from the handicap review is race number 5. What is the Apalupa Stakes? Purse $100,000 for those mares, 3-year-olds, and upwards. We do have a field of 9 traveling in 1 mile and 1/16 off turf course, and I have to say, it's win-win if this race is on the turf. Every time I've watched Evangeline Downs, and maybe Lone Star Park also, I can put into that category, they never run it on the turf, they're always off the turf. So, hopefully I don't jinx it. A mile 16th they're traveling, and I'm going to go with the 9 horse here. Number 9, Tennis Harbor at 7-2. Last time out, throwing Evangeline Downs in the Matron Stakes on a sloppy off the turf race that day on April 24th. Won by length that day. He wore down his foe that day. Again, that race was on a wet course. If this race is off the turf on a sloppy track, this horse would be really good. He likes the sloppy track. But coming to a turf start again this time, don't know how this horse will do here. Then a Fairgrounds mile on March the 21st in the Red Camellia Stakes, won by neck. He's asked if the Corporal and rallied up that day. And then at the in the Premier Distaff Stakes at Delta Downs mile on the main track on February 7th, won by 4 1/4 lengths. He was on along in time that day. I really like this horse here. 4-2 at Evangeline Downs. Last start at Evangeline Downs on the turf course was actually in last year's Apalupa Stakes and had finished 8th that day. Had a horrible trip. Just really couldn't get into it that day. Finished 8th, but he was passing some of his rivals that day. I have to say, I really like this horse here. 7-2, coming back to a good spot here. So, recap my bets for race number 5 from Evangeline Downs. I'm going to go with the 9. Now let's get on to race number 6 from Evangeline Downs. What is the Evangeline Mile? First, $100,000 for 3-year-olds and upwards. We do have a field of 8 horses traveling 1 mile. This race used to be run at the beginning of August or even at the end of the season at Evangeline Downs, so I guess they switched it for this weekend, so it's a bigger weekend. 1 mile. And I'm going to go with the 6 horse here. Number 6, Mystery Train at 2-1, coming in from Southern California or West. I'm out from San Diego Park, mile 16th on May the 2nd, in a Impressionist Stakes, or whatever you want to call it. Finished up by 15.5 lengths. Just pulled and dueled just weakened that day against a lot tougher horses. Then the Mineshaft Stakes at the Fairgrounds, mile 16th on February 21st. Finished second by 3/4 length. I have to say, 17-1. He was on the inside, fought on, just missed win that day. Very decent win. And then the Hollywood Turf Cup at Del Mar, mile and a half on the turf course. Finished 10th by 82.5 lengths. That was the horse's second start on turf, and just did not like it that day. Just inside, just gave away and just eased that day. And then ran the Awesome Again Stakes at San Diego. Finished 6th by 8 lengths behind Shared Belief. He had a bit between just bide and weakened that day. This horse hasn't won a race since this horse came to America. This horse was privileged trained in Argentina and won 3 in a row. His last one actually came about 364 days ago, 65 days ago. May 31st, 2014 in Hippodrome down in Argentina, mile quarter in the Maldives Argentina Stakes. My Spanish is not that good either. Won by 2 lengths that day, and I have to say, I watched the race, so I don't know what really happened. But I'm going to go with this one here. It's 2-1. Looks like an easy spot for this one for sure. So recap my bets for race number 6 from Evangeline Downs. The Evangeline Mile. I'm going to go with the 6 horse here. So let's get on to race number 7 from Evangeline Downs. What is the Lafayette Stakes for $70,000? It's for losing about 3-year-olds, which number one is sweepstakes field 14. That's something Evangeline Downs is known for. These huge fields traveling 7 furlongs. And showing this gives me a second to stop speaking and clear my throat. And I'm going to go with the 12 horse here. Number 12, Mystery Gate at 4-1. Last time out, went to the Fairgrounds, mile 16th on March 28th in the Crescent City Derby. Finished 9th by 14.5 lengths. He was 2 to 3 wide the first turn and was on the rail at the second turn, but after losing that much ground at the first turn, I think the source was really out of it. Today's coming back to a one-turn race, first time ever running in a one-turn. The Fairgrounds Woodmile, February the 22nd allowance race, 41,000, won by neck. He was inside 3 wide at the 3/16 pole. He led until the 8th hole and went on to win that day. Again, source 4 to 1. It's a very wide open race. I wouldn't be surprised if you get like a 50 to 1 winner, 40 to 1 winner here. That's why 4 to 1 here I have on this horse. The favorite here is I think he is the favorite, 4 to 1. Holy crap! But it's a very tough race here, I have to say. So I'm going to go with this one. So count my bets for race number 7 from Evangeline Downs. Going to go with the 12. Now let's get on to race number 8 from Evangeline Downs. What is the second running of the Evangeline Turf Sprint? It's for $300,000 for 3-year-olds and upwards. Field of 8 horses traveling 5 furlongs on the Evangeline Turf Course. Actually, I really like the turf course at Evangeline Downs. I really do. But the thing is, they haven't run a lot of turf races on the turf course this year because they all got rained off. Like I said, field of 8 or 9, whatever I said, I forgot. And I'm going to go with the 1-5 exacta box here. Number 1, let's get to the page first. Number 1, Power Alert at 2 to 1. Julian Leparoux coming in for the ride. I wonder if this is Julian Leparoux's first ride at Evangeline Downs. Last time after on Church Downs, 5 furlongs on May the 1st in Turf Sprint, grade 3 event that day. Won by 3/4 of the length at 5 to 1. I hit speed and cleared and held that day. Very, very good win. You have to be on the pace at Churchill Downs that day to win. Then ran the Shakertown on a good turf course, 5.5 furlongs on April 4th at Keelan. Finished 4th by 4 1/4 lengths. He tracked 3 wide just a weekend. That turf course is very wet that opening weekend. I think they had so much rain the first 2 days, so it wasn't good. It was probably more, I would say more towards soft, but that's my personal decision. Then at Gulfstream Park, 5 furlongs on March 14th in the Silks Run Stakes, 75,000. Won by half length. He was 4 wide, turn had a bit at the 8th pole and held. Really, really like this horse here. In a lesser spot, I think this horse should go as well here. Trained by Brian Lynch. I'm also going to go with the 5 horse here, Haiti, at 3 to 1. Last time out on Church Downs, 5 furlongs on May the 1st at the Turf Sprint. Finished 8th by 5.5 lengths. I ride on the inside, just flattered that day. Then went to Fairgrounds, 5.5 furlongs, March 28th, and then Coasting Rising Stakes, 60,000, won by length. Had the 2 path, had a strong urging that day, and just went on to win. This horse actually won this race last year in the inaugural one. He won it easily by 3 3/4 lengths. Favorite that day, and he stayed comfortably. He was clear that day. Really, really like this horse here. 2 for 2 over this turf course. One last year, another one over this turf course last year was in the Need for Speed Stakes. Won by length and broken, clear, and just lasted. So likes this turf course. 2 for 2 over it. Gonna go for it here. So recap my bets for race number 8 from Evangeline Downs. It's the Evangeline Downs Turf Sprint. I will be going with the 1-5. Let's get on to race number 9 from Evangeline Downs. What is the Academia Stakes? Hopefully I said that right. For $75,000 for Louisiana Bred Phillies 3-year-olds, which number 1 sweepstakes. Field of 11 horses. So another big field here. And traveling 7 furlongs. And I'm going to go with the 11 horse here. All in from the outside, Persuade Me a Lady. 7-2 last time out. Did run out Evangeline Downs, 6 furlongs and May the 14th launch race for 31,000. Won by 2 3/4 lengths that day. Very easy win. Moved 4 wide and just ran out that day. 71 buyer speed figure. And the Fairgrounds 5.5 furlongs on the soft March 26th and optional claim at 30,000 optional claim price. Won by a length with James Graham in the saddle that day. He was over a bit slow. I was 2-3 wide and then 5 wide at the quarter pole. Just went on to win that day. Very horrible trip. He still managed to win. Source has run in state company once. That was back on September 6th of last year at Louisiana Downs 7 furlongs in the Louisiana Stallion Stakes. Finished second by 6 1/4 lengths. I have to say this horse had no match and was just clear second. Again, another wide open race here. I found this horse here at 7-2. Gonna go with this one, Sir Count My Bets Race 1 from Evangeline Downs. I will be going with the 11 horse here. Good luck to all. Please follow me on Twitter at 316specs.